you tasked me with the weekly ranking last
I
week,
did. I
so we
did.
we both came up with our top five performers at divisional weekend. I start off number one. The weird wording there. Number one for me was Jalen Carter. 5 tackles, 2 sacks, forced fumble, 6 pressures on the day against the Rams. He also had the game sealing sack essentially. Just insane winning player. He was decimating that young interior of the Rams offensive line all day. And then number two, Saquon Barkley. I don't think two individual players carried their team more than
Yeah.
those two on the weekend. 26 carries, 205, 2 long touchdowns, 4 catches, 27 yards, getting a little involved in the passing game too. They actually really haven't thrown to him that much this year. I think average about 2 catches a game on the season. So not a whole lot of involvement there, but Jalen Hurts getting back into a rhythm. The weather conditions didn't allow for much more than some screen passes and stuff like that. So interesting if he works his way in a little bit more. Number three, Jaden Daniels, probably the best rookie quarterback season in NFL history. 22 of 31, 299, 2 touchdowns, 51 rushing yards. And he has taken one negative play in 2 playoff games as a rookie. I think he's taken 1 sack, is like the only stat. He has no fumbles, he has no interceptions. I don't know what his turnover worthy play rate is, but even if it is, even if he has more than one, it's not a significant number. Number four, Jared Verse. This dude talked a whale of trash talk before the game, and he more than backed it up. 4 tackles, 3 for loss, 2 sacks, 5 pressures, and his help in the run defense was elite on the edge. Number five, Mikey Sanders still 5 targets, 2 catches allowed for like 20 yards or 30 yards, and 2 interceptions. Got the Commanders defense starting off right in that game. And bonus for me, number six, you mentioned Karlaftis in our other pod. He finished with 5 tackles, 3 sacks, and 8 pressures against the Texans. Stupid stat line.
Yeah. Karlaftis went crazy. I in my ranking, I'll start from 5 to 1.
Yeah, that makes a little
Um,
more sense actually.
yeah, we're locked in. We gotta switch it up. I'm pretty much echoing everybody you said, maybe with just different numbers. I had Karlaftis at 5. I did put him on my top 5. I predicted he'd have a good game. I mean, 3 sacks, 4 QB hurries, 4 solo tackles. That speaks for itself. Big part of winning for the Chiefs is going to be the defense. Kind of knew that coming in, being an off year for them. Pacheco's not producing like he was these last 2 years. They've gotten good production from Kareem Hunt. Uh, and Mahomes is just, he is Mahomes, so I'm not going to underestimate him or talk down on him at all. But he's not what he was the last 2 years on these playoff runs. Um, at least not yet. He could explode this weekend, and I take it all back. But like I said, Karlaftis being a big part of that defense and defense being a big part of their success, I had to put him 5. Um, and then you mentioned Sanders still. He had 2 interceptions, 2 pass deflections, 3 solo tackles. Overall, good game, great game. I mean, good would be underselling it.
Yeah.
Uh, that's a big part of what I think set the difference. Just the plays like that really the turnovers. That's what sets the difference in the playoffs, and that's what really got the win for the Commanders against this number 1 seed Detroit Lions team, who no one really thought would lose this early. Number 3, you mentioned Jalen Carter. Only reason I put him at 3 is to try to not be biased. Jalen Carter really is the reason the Eagles won that game, and I can truthfully say that. I think if he doesn't get that sack, they convert on third down. If not, get short yardage on third to set up a fourth down conversion, and they go down and score a touchdown. That's what I was fearful of, and that's what probably would have happened if it wasn't for that sack. So that's a game changing play. Pretty much, almost single handedly, like you said, him and Saquon brought him to the conference championship. Hopefully, they can clean up some of the mistakes in the conference game. But yeah, I got Jalen Carter at 3, and then I got JD 5 at 2 because he's just been ridiculous. He's been the talk of across the league the last week. A lot of people are now buying in. A lot of people weren't confident in the Commanders at all last week, and now going into Philly, people are really bought in. People are really confident in the Commanders upsetting the Eagles at home. With that being said, my number one for this weekend has to be Saquon. I just think you put up 200 yards in a divisional game, in a snow game like that. You get your iconic moments, you get your iconic stat line. I, you just can't beat that. To me, he's by far the best performance of divisional weekend.